Hello, folks. Bobby Costa here. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's just me, the way it ought to be. Boy, when's the last time we got to talk like this? It's been a little too long. I'll say that. And honestly, if I'm being truthful with myself, do I get a little excited when Danny says, "Hey, I can't make it this way"? I'm like, "Yeah, really? Are you sure? Okay, don't worry about it." No, you're good. Because I'm, no, and I love Danny, and welcome back, everybody, and we miss him. Danny's in Maine. I'm about to head to Maine in about an hour. I'm leaving for Maine in about an hour, but I figured I'd check in because, I want to prove that there's still somebody out there that, listens to this shit. And even if it's just me, right? Even if it's just little old Bobby, the producer, the host, the number one fan, the only listener, he's our last guy left. Well, I'm going to do it, okay? I'm speaking out into the void and I'm saying, "Hello, is there anybody out there? Does anyone remember that Pink Floyd song where they say, is there anybody out?" That's what I'm doing alone in my basement for the fourth time. It's the fourth time I've done one of these, folks, and let's call a spade. I get worked up. I get real worked up. I say, how am I going to do it? What am I going to do? You got to impress these people. They're going to work. They're doing and by the way, I go to work too. It's not like I'm, sitting on my throne and saying, "Bring me grapes. I want grapes. I want grapes and I want a grapefruit as well." I want to confuse you a little bit. So yeah, I do want grapes, which are a fruit, but then I also do want grapefruit. Do you understand the difference there? Because there is a big difference. And it's like, why would they call it grapefruit? There's already a fruit that is called a grape. So how did that one happen? No, I want answers. I want to answer. Who on the naming committee said, "Oh, well, we'll just call this one a grapefruit"? Well, but dude, we already have the grapes. What do you remember the grapes? Is anyone think, dude, who was thinking? So I go to work too, folks. I actually understand how it works. I understand, people commute. A lot of people will commute and they'll play this. But it's kind of, well, I guess, so I'm on vacation next week. So I won't be, consuming any content. I'll be listening to music. I mean, I'll be listening to Yacht Rock pretty much all week. I'm talking Ambrosia. I will give you some Steely Dan. I want a little bit of Hall & Oates. And Hall & Oates, did you guys know this? They don't speak, and they never will again. And how sad is that? And people, to think they are the number one duo of all time. Statistically, numerically, they are by far the number one duo of all time. And now they literally don't even speak whatsoever. And I saw a clip with Daryl Hall, and he said, "Do you think you guys will ever read?" And he said, "No, absolutely not. No." He's just like, there's no way. Or maybe it was Oates. Was it Oates or Hall? Whoever it was. One of them said, "No, that door is closed and fuck Hall." Or fuck Oates. Again, I can't remember quite who said that. But then it makes you think, because goddamn, they were Shaq and Kobe. They were Hall and Oates. They were the greatest. And now they don't talk. And, you can kind of look and see the writing on the wall and say, is that how the Danny and Bobby story sort of ends? Right? They were number one. They weren't number one. They were probably, I don't know if they were in the top 100,000, but they were, I guess they were never really that close to begin with. But they were, they liked each other. At least at one point, they tolerated each other. Liked is a pretty strong term to throw at it. But they were, they enjoyed each other's company sometimes. I'm just worried. I want to keep that relationship strong. And every time, I must say, every time he's not here, it gives me a little more armor. And I say, you know what? This guy, man, we made Sarah smile together, sure. And Sarah smile is probably episode 52. Like, how great was that? That's our Sarah smile. But now I'm Hall and I'm going, shit. I mean, dude, I can play the guitar too. Right? Like Oates is, we love Oates. Oates is a good guy. He's a great family. I mean, I'm his daughter's godfather, but I won't fucking talk to that bitch because what happened back in '94. Again, I don't know the story. Maybe it's the goddaughter's fault. Maybe it's Oates' fault. I don't know. I don't know. And I hope that doesn't happen to Danny and I. And I'll make sure it doesn't. How about that? If you're so worried about it, then why don't you plant your flag and say, no, it's not going to happen. He's my buddy. He's my friend. And I don't want to sour a relationship just because he's too fucking busy to make it to a recording. All right, I was free last night. But Danny was heading up to Maine, and I appreciate it. And honestly, I really wasn't free last night. And we're not going to do too much of it. We're not going to do any of it, but I will just say I was watching Love Island. So no, I was not free. All right, I was actually very occupied. And I also had to pack, by the way, folks. I had to pack. I'm leaving for 8 days. Can you believe that? That's like, I mean, that's nice. That is nice. I gotta say, you know, I've been working my tail off for the better part of a year now, and it's good to just kind of, you know, just sit back, just chill. You know, like I said, I want my grapes, I want my grapefruit. Somebody give me a friggin' White Claw. You know, I'll drink a White Claw. I'm not gonna play spike ball, but I'll watch people play it. I love to watch people play spike ball and say, oh, that's not what I would have done. I would have done something different there. That's probably, it's easy to do that. You know, it's not easy to play spike ball. All right, I actually used to, this is a funny thing about me. Whenever spike ball came out, folks, and for the people that don't know what spike ball is, wake up. All right, the revolution's happening outside your door. You better get awoken to the, anyway, if you don't know what spike ball is, you need serious help. But I remember whenever it came out, you know, call it, you know, I don't even know what we call it, 7 years ago, 8, maybe, I don't know. I remember loving it. I was like, this is a fun game. I enjoy playing it. And then what happened? Something happened in the middle there, within the last 5 years, where everyone just started, you know, taking it way too seriously. Or back when I would play, I wouldn't really move my feet too much. I would kind of plant my feet, and it would just be a lot of this. And that's where I can, you know, have fun. But the second we're running back and forth, we're doing the fucking 40 on the beach, chasing a yellow ball, I'm starting to feel like a fucking golden retriever playing this game. When really I just want to sit down. You know, really, truth be told, I just want to, you know, relax and have a good time. And it's my vacation, and I can dictate what fun looks like. I think I can. I think I'm allowed that luxury for the next 8 days. And you know, recent development. This is something I just learned last night, folks. You're not going to believe this, but the house we rented. This feels like I almost want to apologize. Honestly, the house we rented is literally next door to Danny. It's literally the house next door to Danny's beach house. It's like, I almost want to be like, hey, I didn't book this. This is, no, I'm happy to be here, but like I didn't intentionally pick the house that's right next door to you, bro. But oh my God, are we gonna be fun mogging his family or what? I mean, we are. We're gonna be going. He's gonna look. His family's gonna be saying grace. He's gonna look out the window. The Costas are doing a fucking conga line, going, jump in the line, everybody. Okay, I believe you. And he's gonna be like, damn, that's the shit, bro. Shit. But that's fine. You know, he's welcome to come. Please join us. Hey, shit. Once you're done with your little grace bullshit or whatever you guys are doing, I don't even know. Come on by. We'd love to have you. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be a good time. You know, right now it's Friday morning. It's Friday morning, everybody. So yeah, I like to be transparent. I don't like to mislead the viewer and say, hey, I'm actually recording this Monday morning as you're listening. This is live. This is live, by the way. All right, the time you're listening right now, it's 9:46. And what if I were right? What if there was some person out there that said, oh my God, that's actually the time? That'd be pretty cool. And I could do kind of like a O's the Mentalist type thing where I say, you know, think of anyone that you went to high school with ever. Well, I mean, it's kind of narrow, not ever. It would have to be in that 4-year span. But think of them, and I'll rack my brain as best I can, and then bada boom, you're thinking of someone, and I go boom, Parker Milner, and everyone's like, whoa, how the fuck did you do that? And I say, you know, Mentalism. I'm a mentalist. Or am I an Israeli asset? All right, you want to get real? Let's get real. People think Pablo Torre did a breakdown on Oz the Mentalist, and he didn't outright say it, but he kind of alluded to the fact that he's a Netanyahu sort of patsy for Netanyahu or something. I don't even know. And so is Jack Ruby, right? But I think you're kind of conflating two things here. You're talking CIA, we're talking Israel. I don't know. Truth be told, I don't know nothing about neither. I don't know nothing about neither except John Kiriakou. Whatever he tells me, I believe it. I believe it as a gospel. And then it comes out that he wasn't, he's had some inconsistencies in his stories. And I'm like, dude, were they all fake? Fuck, man. That's one thing about me. That's one thing you must say about me is that I tell the truth at every turn, every fork in the road when I'm if I can say, here's the truth, here's some fabricated lie that you can, go down the web. I'm always taking the truth. I'm always taking that truth, motherfucker. No, I mean, there are several occasions where, I'll take the lie and I'll build on it and I'll spin this web and then I'll try and, it's tough because, I will, you got to keep the web together. You got to say, oh fuck, did I say that? I don't know if I did. Okay. All right. Yeah, no. Yes, totally. Yeah, no, I watched that. Yeah. Oh, that video you sent me, that long video you sent me. Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. It's actually my favorites. Actually, it's my favorite video ever now. Yeah, ask me any question about it. And you almost have to overplay your hand and say, you don't think I watched it? Literally ask me any single question about any aspect of that video. I guarantee I will answer it. And you hope in your head that they go, whoa, Jesus Christ. It's like that scene in Catch Me If You Can when Tom Hanks is like, hey, I'd love to see some credentials. And Leo says, here, take my whole wallet. Take my whole wallet. Knowing that he's not even going to look through it. He's not going to, hey, I'm good. Hey, here, take my whole wallet. Here, quiz me on the entire video that you sent me. So I will lie sometimes. And that reminds me actually of a story. I used to tell it on stage back when I did stand-up. Excuse me. One moment, folks. Apologies. I've got a little bit of a cough going. It's not pleasant. It's quite disgusting, really. But what are you gonna do? But no, this story. And forgive me if I've told it on the podcast, but I don't think I have. And it really ties into what we're talking about here today, which is lying. Right? It used to be one of my favorite things to do. Right? It was a pastime. See, can I get away with this? Can I say? Can I do this? Can I make them believe that I went to college? Right? Oh yeah, I was. Oh yeah, dude. I love college. Is that believable? Yeah. We'll role play for a sec. Tell me if this sounds believable. Oh, dude, I love college. College was like the most fun. I did so much freaking partying, but then the partying, that was only secondary to the learning. And I learned so much. And I actually went to Tufts. Are you familiar with Tufts? Who thought of that name? I thought about it. In the 4 years I was there, I had time to stew on it. And I said, why is it called Tufts? Why? I mean, we got Harvard, we got Yale, we got Cornell, we got all these cool names. And then I'm like, I went to Tufts. Yeah, I was actually at Tufts. Sounds like a fucking a grunt. Tough. I was at Tufts. Anyway, but yeah, no, I did so much learning. Oh, my bunkmate, he was an exchange student. He was from Taiwan, or Chinese Taipei, depending on, the Little League World Series will say, it's Chinese Taipei. Anyway, was that believable? Did that sound good? Also I was in a frat. Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about my frat. My brothers. Jesus Christ, my brothers. I like to at least try and lie. I'm a lie first, and then, if I have to, then I'll say, actually, if we want to get technical, oh, I see you're pulling up documents. Okay, I guess then we can get technical. I drove by Tufts once, and I actually dropped out of community college after a month. if we had to get technical. But I like to say I went to Tufts because I did. I mean, I drove past it and I said, that's Tufts. I see Tufts. What a funny name that is. Maybe I'll expound on that. But no, the lying. Oh, the lying was a big issue as a youngster for me. You know, it was kind of an easy way out, so to speak, and I would use it as kind of a shield, right? And so if anyone said, oh, why are you doing this? I'd go, lie, bing, bang, bow, bow, right? And this happened, this was a real thing where it was probably second, maybe third grade, right when I met the young Danny Dickey that we all know and love. And someone had asked, have you ever been in a fight, right? And maybe this wasn't third grade. I don't know. Maybe, is that a third grade conversation? I don't know. The truth, of course, is that no, I've never been in anything resembling a fight. All right, and I never want to, and I might as well be Bono the way I'm. I like world peace. Is he a peace guy? You might as well call me Ron Artest because that's how much I want world peace, and I don't want to. I wouldn't hurt a fly. Though I did see a video on Twitter. I was telling Danny about this, and this is kind of definitely a moral dilemma. I don't know where people will stand on this, but some Japanese guy created this mechanism with toothpicks that I'm going to say exactly what it does. It's this mechanism with toothpicks, and he has 5 cockroaches laid out, and he's raping the cockroaches with toothpicks. I'm dead serious. Did anyone else see this? I don't know what side of Twitter I'm on, but he literally it was a crank and a lever, and I'm like, bro, I don't know. We all hate cockroaches, but gee, can't we just stomp them? Whatever happened to a fly swatter, sir? But I understand, if your house is infested with them, you're going to start to do some sadistic shit. I understand that. And I scrolled past it, and I watched it, and I said, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how I feel about that, but an interesting, it's something to present at the dinner table later tonight, folks. On your Monday night dinner, I want you to present that and say, guys, where does everyone stand on this? Understand, obviously, hey, raise your hand if you hate cockroaches. Okay, all right, good. That's a good amount. All right, everyone. It's actually everyone. Okay, great. Now, what if, you got to bear with me here, but what if I were to, kind of construct sort of an apparatus that penetrates them against their will? And then a hush falls across the dinner table, and you say, "Oh, this isn't 4th of July dinner conversation. All right, let's go watch fireworks then for the fucking 20th year in a row. Sorry, I'm trying to bring some spice." So I don't know. Yeah, maybe ask your family. Maybe don't. Honestly, maybe don't ask your family. I think a lot of you'd be stunned to hear the answers. Truth be told, what if you have one uncle that's a little too into it? He's like, "Show me. I want to see." You're like, all right, never mind. No, you ruined it. Uncle Mark, you ruined it. But all right, back to the lying. Right, Jesus Christ. So I lied. Have you ever been in a fight, Bobby? They say. And for whatever reason, I remember in first grade, I had a confrontation. Like my buddy got called a loser, and I was like, hey, don't say that. That's all it was. That's it. I was like, dude, don't say that. He's my friend. And there's this kid named Dante, called him a loser, called my friend Mason a loser, who's my best friend. Till he was usurped by Danny, I guess, but Mason was a good guy, still is, I'm sure. I was like, hey, don't say that, or something like that. But when asked about the fight, I thought back to that moment, and I said, maybe I could twist this a little bit. And so I did, and I said, yeah, this guy called my friend a loser, and I punched him in the face. Talking about my first grade self, I was like, yeah, I fucking punched him in the face. Yeah. And then that would come up every now and then. It would come up, and people would ask me again, and I would go back to that story. Because that was the closest I've ever been when I said, hey, don't say that. I guess that was the closest. Excuse me. And so years and years and maybe even a decade would go by where people would ask me, just every now and then. It's not like people are always asking. I'm not fucking in the UFC or I'm walking out of fucking Buca de Beppa and they're asking me, hey, Bobby, have you ever been in a fight? No, I don't. But so, I would say it, and I would say it over and over and over again over the years. And then one day I looked inward and I said, wait, did that? I started to believe it. I was like, did that happen? I could picture it, and I was like, I think I did punch him in the face until I finally snapped out of it, and I said, no, you didn't. You've never struck anyone. You never would. But that's the lesson here, folks, is that you can lie to yourself over time so many times that you start to believe it. And that is a lesson. Okay, because and we're not getting preachy. I'm not doing, Dave Chappelle doing stand-up where somehow it's actually a TED Talk about transgender rights and about, your Filipino wife, God bless her, but I don't really care that you guys live in Ohio. Good for you. Can we get some jokes? Please. Please. I said I hit Dante in the face, man. I said I did that. And Mason didn't know. I didn't tell Mason. Because I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know. And I said, damn. But no, that is the lesson, because, you can think and go, it's your perception, reality is what you think of it. Right. And what are memories even? Do they even, that's all you have, but you don't even have them. And I heard this thing, and it's kind of one of those things. I forget what I said last time. There was one bullshit thing that I said that, everyone says. Oh, I forget what it was. It was the last solo episode. It was something where everyone says it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is another one I hear that's I don't know. I don't fully believe that. But, what was it? Was it something about space? Oh, yeah, we have more galaxies than sand or whatever. I don't know. It's one of those bullshit things. But I forget what I was saying. Honestly, I do forget what I was saying. But yeah, oh, that's what it was. No, I got it. Shut up. Settle down. I thought of it. Okay. I've only had one cup of coffee as opposed to my normal, also one. I don't know. I don't overdo it. So you can't really use that as an excuse. You're right at your regular level. All right. Fair. You got me there. No, but I heard this claim that every time you go and access a memory, every time you go and think of it, you alter it in some way. Every time you pick that little thing up off the shelf, you twist it just slightly. And then so by 20 years go by, this memory is completely twisted, right? It's completely, was Christmas 05 really all that? Was it kind of a shit show, Mom and Dad? I remember I wanted a friggin' Undertaker figurine, and I got the Big Show. All right, I got the fucking Big Show. Who was in charge of that one? Mom, Dad? I want names. We know it wasn't fucking Santa's bitch ass, because he would have got it right. And was the Big Show even out in 05? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if I was, truth be told, I don't know if I was into WWE at that point. But the point remains that, Christmas with the Costas was kind of mid. Honestly, it was mid. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. I had great Christmases. I really did. No, I really did. And I'd come down the stairs, and, the milk was drank, and a couple of bites were taken out of the cookie, and I said, oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, truly, how magical was that, though? If we could get real for a second, believing and truly being it, that is the best feeling, man. And you come down, and you're like, yeah, there was a strange man in my house. There was an old man in my house, but that's okay because he left us presents. Yeah, man. All right. And that was the thing. You get a race car or something. You'd rip it open. You'd tear it open like a fucking ape, and you'd go, give me my race car. And this is what we would always do, at least my sister and I. Here are the instructions in my hands. Throw those away. Get those as far away from me as possible. I'm serious. Take those to the bottom of a ravine, because I don't want those instructions. I want to figure this out on my own. And then so I'm trying to figure it out. It's, I'll admit it. It's pretty complicated. I'm trying to do it. My dad says, where are the instructions? I said, it didn't come with any. Usually it does, I know, and I know I have the habit, and I know I usually take it down to the ravine, but this time is different. There were no instructions. I didn't see any. Is this ever going to work? And then my dad screams at me and my mom's crying for no reason. And we're trying to fix this. I say, make it go. I want it to go. And I think ultimately it was instances like that led to the demise of the marriage, truth be told. And we're just, in family therapy, I believe that, situations like that definitely came up, right? And they didn't outright say, hey, Bobby, it's your fault. But even at the age of 10, I could infer. I did, context clues. Said, okay, I didn't expect the whole instructions down a ravine thing to get thrown in my face. I thought that was kind of a cute thing I did, but I guess, all right, okay, all right. Well, hey, you guys, I'm 10 years old. Hey, you guys made it, you had a good run. You really did. And honestly, I'm happy for you. Pops, obviously, you're going to do your thing. I think it's really going to work out. And now I have to sneeze. Oh, my God. No, we're good. Hold that shit off, dude. You're a fucking professional. You've already coughed a couple times. How about a drink of water? Why don't you just stop everything? But no, I remember, in the family therapy sessions, I would say to the therapist, I'd say, hey, you mind if I take it from here? I'll actually take it from here. All right, Dad, here's the deal, man. You gotta, what you gotta do, basically, man to man, bro to bro. You gotta look inward. And Mom, same to you. Honestly, I like same. And then they called it quits. Probably it was a mixture. Okay, fine. It was a mixture of the instructions and the race cars and all that. It was he wanted Undertaker. We got him Big Show. He cried about that. He's peeing the bed intentionally. Remember that story he told the other week about how he was fully awake and peed the bed? Do you remember that? Yeah, we didn't forget about that. We knew. No, we fucking knew. We could hear you. You sneezed before. If you're asleep, you don't sneeze. So we heard you, and then you peed your bed on purpose. Yeah, let's get a divorce. Fair enough. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, everything worked out for the best. It really did. I mean, is it my fault? Do we have to unpack that right now? I don't think we do. It's the 4th of July, man. But by the time this comes out, it will be, the 7th of July? What happened on that date? I would imagine things probably, things were probably kicking off in a major way at that point. All right, we just signed this thing, or we just... What is the 4th of July? Is that when we signed the Declaration of Independence? Must be. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it definitely is. 1776, 250 years ago, our nation was born. And now, what are we reduced to? We had John Madison and John Tyler and John Adams and John Quincy Adams and George Washington. We had all these guys, a lot of Johns, truth be told. If we're just... Can we switch it up? Can there be a Nathan? Is there room for a Gregory in there? It's too late now. But we had all these guys that, they birthed the nation, and now what are we reduced to? Well, we got Freebird. We got Could Take Me Home Country Roads, and we got Freebird. I'm sorry, but all these countries have great chance. Why couldn't it be? It should have been written in the Declaration that, hey, we'll get some chance going. We will get some chance going, and not just, oh. How about some words? Anything wrong with words? I mean, we've got a lot of great authors that came from the U.S. Jack Kerouac. He was local. It's funny. I had a job where I had to knock doors, and I was in Lowell, Massachusetts, funny enough. And I just see this random house, so I say, I'm going to knock it. I'm going to sell these fuckers some fucking bullshit, all right? It's just the worst way to make a buck. Truth be told, it is the worst way to make a buck. But anyway, so I see this house, and there's a little placard by the door, and it says, Jack Kerouac used to live here. And I said, oh, that's pretty cool. All right, cool. And I kept moving, and I kept my day going. But it's just it's a fun little thing. It was fun. No, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that tremendously. Where was I going with that? I have literally no idea. Something about authors. Oh, the 4th of July. That's right. And Danny and I are going to go to that party tomorrow. And I mentioned it. There's live music, and there is sometimes an occasion where they'll say, "Hey, does anyone want to sing one, or does anyone want to come up?" And so I've wrestled with this for the past 5 years, however long I've been going there. Is it going to happen? No. But if it does, if someone were to, kind of dare me, it has to be a dare. I can't just volunteer. But if someone were to, I'm prepared. I'll say that I am prepared. I practice karaoke in my basement about 3 times a week. Some people hit the gym. No, I don't hit the gym. I work out my pipes. And I'm sorry, I do take offense to the notion. Danny has said this before. He's like, yeah, but you do Sinatra, you do Dean Martin, you go low. Bitch, I can go high. I can go higher than you've ever fucking soared. I was doing, I'll see. If you can't hear it, I'm a little hoarse. I'm not going to lie. But the other night, I was doing, maybe I'm a man. Maybe you're the only woman who could ever help me. Baby, It's like, I don't know, was that low? I feel like that was note for note, bar for bar, perfect. I feel like that sounded perfect. I mean, it takes a lot out of you, I'm not going to lie. And now that gives me concern. If I want to go to the 4th of July party, I can't be going... I can't be doing that in the middle of a performance, truth be told. But no, listen. I've got a little bit of a cough, and it is what it is. Is it allergies? Maybe, I don't know. Truth be told, I've said truth be told like 25 fucking times. And how far are we? 48 minutes in or 30? Oh wow, 32. Okay, that's promising. But either way, I've said it so many times, and I forget what the last one was. I have crutches. I have these things that I need. I need them to survive, right? What's a crutch? You don't know about fighting to survive. Like, I'm a dog. That's the best video of all time. Are people familiar with this video? I'm not an AI supporter. I don't really like AI, but it's been used successfully in a few ways, and one of them is the dog talking. And the dog's talking, and he says, if you grab me, I'm gonna bite you. Straight up, I'm gonna bite the fuck out you. I'm a dog. Like, you don't know what it means about fighting to survive. It's the best video of all time. I'm sorry it is. It surpassed the one that person sent me that I said I watched beginning to end. Oh, callback. Oh my God, I remember that. Yeah, no, it's good. It's fun. I'm not a fan of AI truth. I almost just said it. Oh my God. If you say it again, you have to shoot yourself in the back of the head on camera and somehow still find a way to upload it to YouTube. That's your challenge. You have 20 minutes, go. No, I mean, if I say it, I'll be disappointed in myself, but I almost just said it again. But I won't commit suicide on camera. I won't. There's too much. I have too much to talk about. There's too much life to live. When if I were to do that, then we wouldn't even get that, that moment of the Hall & Oates breakup. I'm so looking forward to Danny and I's breakup. Again, 30 years from now. All right, we've got a long way to go. But I can't wait for that day where we fucking hate each other's guts. Right, and it's just we've world toured and we've been everywhere, and it's just like I can't fucking stand you. But again, 30 years from now, we got a long way to go, and I love the guy. I love hanging out with him, and I'll see him later today. I think up in Maine, the vacation land, Maine, the way life should be. It is a great state. Could be my favorite state. Could be. What about actually Massachusetts is my favorite Commonwealth. You thought I was going to say state, didn't you prick? No, it's a Commonwealth. Anyway, but I don't like AI. again, it can be used if you're making a dog talk and he has a funny voice and kind of an attitude about him, then yeah, that is funny, but don't abuse it. Shouldn't abuse dogs anyway. All right, hey, come on, Al. No. I don't like AI. I don't love 2026. I don't love the way it's going. I just saw, the new version of Seed Dance, which is an AI model, and that one, I tell you what, man, my girlfriend, maybe I'm exceptionally good at it, but I don't think I feel like it's obvious, but like I can still tell when something's AI. Almost, I would say 85% of the time. I've been fooled maybe twice, 3 times. Shame on me. But yeah, no, I can clock it immediately. But the new version of Seed Dance is pretty good. But I can still tell, people, they just move a little too normally, or humans have a way they move, and I can tell that. But it's, eventually it will be out the window. So there are a lot of things I don't like about 2026. One of them is like this whole, poly market, Kalshi kind of, you can bet on anything kind of thing. Like, I love to gamble. I placed my first bet in 8th grade and it won. It was Jordan Spieth to win the Masters, and I was hooked ever since. But I got to tell you, similar to, I mean, I love betting. This is a rough take. I don't know. I love betting. I'll take these long breaks, but the culture around golf and the culture around betting has changed so much, and it's like, I don't know. I don't even want to I just hate parlays. How about that? I hate parlays, and I had a poly market parlay that didn't win, and so maybe that's why I'm a little upset. I had the Knicks to win the finals, and that was that cashed. It was a 2-legger, Knicks to win the finals, and Post Malone to die in a helicopter crash. So I felt like I was so close. So that was just a real kick in the nuts, because obviously, rest in peace, Oliver Tree. I wish I had that one. Not to say I wish altogether, I wish it didn't happen. But if I say I can't undo that, say I did have a DeLorean Back to the Future style, and I can't make it all the way to Brazil in time, then I would at least, turn a profit. I'm sorry, and I was a big fan and whatever, but yeah, my parlay didn't hit, and it's like they say you can bet on anything. So I scroll and I'm like, oh shit, oh wow, you can't. Oh my god, odds on how Bobby's gonna die. Holy shit, they have this. Choking on a cheese stick is number 1. How do they? Who came up with this? I haven't even had a cheese stick in like 3 months. And maybe that's it. Maybe they do that, so then I go, fuck, I can eat a cheese stick without choking. As a matter of fact, I'm going to shove 3 down my throat right now. And then it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy is what happens there. Choking on a cheese stick's number 1. Heart attack 2, obviously. I mean, number 3, shoots himself on camera because he said truth be told one too many times. Oh, wow, this thing's up to date. Natural causes is probably about plus 300 million. There's just no way. It's going to be a fiery wreck of some kind, whether that's internally or whether that's, a true fiery wreck, which would be the worst. I must say that would be the worst way to go. And truly rest in peace, Oliver Tree. And excuse me just one moment. We'll let that moment kind of sit out there for a second. I've got the sniffles, folks. I really do. I've got the sniffles. But, should Kalshi be shut down? I want to bet on everything, right? I should bet on Love Island, and you've mentioned it twice now. You said you were really. I'm not gonna get in the weeds. I'm just saying, I kind of do want to bet on it. Like, can I bet on whether I think my dad's engagement is gonna last? How about that? Oh, I think they're on a rocky road. Maybe I'll turn a profit on that. No, they have a great foundation. I'm really happy for the two of them. I'm just joking. I think things are gonna work out there, but might take a flyer on it. I'm a gambler after all. Lord, I was born a rambling man. Okay, well that's That's a rambling, man, not a gambling. It's a different song. I don't know. Are you trying to? All right, then I'm Kenny Rogers. Then I'm the gambler, and I gotta know when to hold them. I gotta know when to fold them, and I gotta know when I think I might choke on a cheese stick, so that I could have life-changing money for my offspring. Okay, all right. So everyone download Polymarket today. Use promo code FLOP. I'm sorry. I'm scared of cheese sticks now. Now I don't even want to see one. Because every time, oh my God, every time I see one, I'm going to go, is this the one? Is this the one that does it? Why was that minus 500? Is there a reason for that? I mean, that would be a scary thought. But so I don't like it. And Timothy Chalamet, who, I'm a big fan. I love the way he moves. I love the way he... I like his tiny little head. He does have a little peanut head, does he not? Unlike my co-host, who actually has the biggest noggin I've ever seen in my life. And I feel like that's lost. I feel like that does get lost. Maybe it's the haircut that, camouflages it in some way, but if you ever meet him in real life, the dude's head is enormous. And you would think he'd be, a little bit smarter. But no, that's not fair because, dude, he is very good at trivia. I will say that. That's an honest compliment coming from a guy that really prides himself on trivia knowledge. He will get ones that I'm like, damn, I did not think you would have that in you. He knows he's pretty good on, like, history and countries. Obviously, we always say, like, if there's a fucking video game question or if there's a question about edging in your goon cave, then, yeah, Danny will take... But no. He's good on history, music, pop culture. I definitely have him beat handily, but otherwise, like he didn't know who Harry Mack was, for Christ's sakes. But apparently Jackson didn't either, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe Harry Mack is niche, but I think he's pretty goddamn popular. But you can hear it in my voice, folks. I could be in a better state of mind. I think part of it is, I'm skipping meals all the time, all the goddamn time, man. I mean, I haven't had lunch in 5 years. That's not true, but I haven't had lunch in a while, and I rarely have breakfast. And everyone's like, why? Oh, why, Bobby? Why don't you just make a couple scrambled eggs in the morning? Why don't you make 5 scrambled eggs? It's like, oh. Yeah, I'll just wake up an hour earlier. I'll wake up at 5:45, no bullshit, so I can make 5 scrambled eggs. Does that sound like a worthy investment? Or I could just what is the price I pay if I don't do that? Well, my tummy is a little grumbly. I have a little growl in my tummy. I think I can manage that. But you talk to anybody on fucking planet Earth and they say everything you want in life is behind a bowl of scrambled eggs. Everything you've ever wanted, if you just had 5 eggs and woke up an hour, I'm sorry, that doesn't feel worth my time. I've already got, a pretty nice morning routine going. Okay, I wake up, I hit the shower, I grab my dad's loofah that he uses exclusively for his face, and I rub my ball sack. I have to scrub my scrotum with his face loofah because that's, it's just what I mean. Everyone, we all got routines. And then I get ready for work, and I go, and I'll stop at Dunkin's. We love Dunkin' Donuts, and I'll get a fucking iced coffee, and I'll get an orange juice, and now I've got Dunkin' bags, and probably 3 times out of the week, maybe 2, I'll get a breakfast sandwich. I will, and it's the most mid thing you've ever dreamed. It's more mid than Costa Christmas 05. There's another callback. It's so... Like, I can't say it's bad or good. It's just so mid. It's so mid. So I have that. And then, I've got these Dunkin' bags that accumulate. And like I said, I've got this, I'm a little phlegmy, right? I'm a little stuffy. And so what do you guys do at home? Let me pose a scenario for you because, I think this is important. Say you are phlegmy and you're driving and you go and you hawk something up, right? What are you gonna do? You gonna throw it? You gonna spit it on the ground? That's your car. That's your baby. You better not do that. Are you gonna try and spit it out the window? I've made that mistake before. I covered my face in loogie. That's what happened when I tried to do that. So what do? Well, I'll tell you. I mean, folks, I've got a Dunkin' Donuts bag full of loogies in my car. I've got a Dunkin' Donuts bag that's chock full of loogies. And if anyone wants it, I mean, the highest bidder can have it. And I get pulled over, and he says, "Sir, what's that?" And I say, "Oh, it's just a Dunkin' Donuts bag full of loogies." That's all that is. I mean, you could check if you want. I swear, officer, nothing illegal going on. Weird, I'll give you weird. Weird you can have. But honestly, if I pose the same thing to you, are you going to spit it on the ground? Are you going to, try and spit it out there? It's just a Dunkin' Donuts bag full of loogies, is all that is, officer. No, there's no contraband. No. And so if anyone, it's there. It's there, and if anyone wants it, they can have it. But I don't know. The way I eat is not healthy. It's not good for anyone. Certainly not good for me. I'll starve myself throughout the day, and then I'll come home and I'll binge. And that's the worst thing you can do. It's just binge at midnight and then go to sleep at 12:20. And I just have this full belly. The other night, I mean, it's just sad. The other night I had salt and vinegar chips. I had a bag of salt and vinegar chips, and then I had a second bag of American cheese, deli American cheese. And I was ripping off the American cheese, and I was grabbing a chip, and I was wrapping it around the chip, and I was eating it. A little cheesy salt and vinegar chip, and I had about 45 of those, and then I went to sleep promptly. I promptly went to sleep. And then I wake up in the morning, I say, why do I feel like shit? Why me? Why is God, smiting me? Why is there a curse in my stomach? And then, on your way to work, as you huck a loogie in a Dunkin' bag, you say, wait, I did kind of go a little overboard. And this happens every night or every morning. I'm like, oh, right, I did fucking go very overboard. Fuck it, just spoonfuls of peanut butter. Oh my God, I just realized I had a dream last night that I was doing whipped cream. I was going, and I whipped, wow. I dreamed that so vividly. And I also had a dream that I was playing charades with Danny. No joke. And he made me die laughing because he was like, this would be something he would do. We were playing charades, and he was up, and he was just driving a car, and someone guessed car, and he's like, yep, that's it. And I just started dying laughing. I swear that I just jogged my memory. But no, that's my routine, right? And sorry to my dad's loofah. Sorry you had to find out this way. But then I'll make it to work, and then I'll fucking, then I'll hop on a Zoom meeting, right? I'm on the phones, and then suddenly I'm on a Zoom meeting with a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and somehow I can tell in his eyes, I can tell that he can tell that I pleasured myself earlier that morning. I can see it in his eyes. Somehow he knows. And so I go, do I proceed with the meeting? Do I address it? Do I say, I want all our cards on the table before we, before we continue our business relationship. Yes, I did pleasure myself this morning, and I already know. No, I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know already, but I just want to know. I want you to know that I know you know. You know what I mean? Anyway, all right. Thanks for coming. How's everyone doing? Yeah, it's great to see everyone. Hey, everyone, you do the traffic? Yeah, traffic. Yeah, traffic. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic. Yeah. But no, that's what my days look like now. Now I'm running meetings, and it's a big boy job, man, and it's so that's kind of something we could address real quick. It's like, I have people saying, when are you going to stream again? When are you going to stream again? I don't know, man. I don't know. September? Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. I've got a lot going on right now. There's a lot. I've got a lot on my plate, and what I'm doing right here is reminding me of the streams, and it reminds me of that was a lot, man. What did Neon say? We all remember what Neon said. It's the toughest job in the world. It's tougher than being an oil rigger. Careful. It's tougher than being a nurse. I don't know. Nurse seems pretty easy. What do? I get to stab people in the arm and drain their blood. Sounds like a fucking cakewalk. Would you rather be a librarian or a nurse? Well, one of them you're legally allowed to stab people. So I think I'm going to go with that one. I think I'm gonna go with the one where I can stab as many people as I want in a given day. And then you come home and you're like, babe, how was work? It's like, oh, it was good. I only stabbed like 12 people. I only drained the blood of 12 people. Pardon me. Sorry. It's tough. I'm stuffed up, man. I'm all stuffed up. But Jesus Christ, I wish you guys could see that. It is a mess down here. It's gross. And there's things that are growing. And let's check. No, Danny took his Zins. Danny didn't leave his what was that, detritus. He didn't leave that bullshit on my table, which is good. But there's bottles here. I could see shit growing in there. That's a fun thought. I mean, like there's stuff growing, right? Things grow, plants grow, humans grow. So could I grow a little mold in here, right? We're doing a little, now it's Bill Nye. You thought it was Flop University. Now it's Bill Nye. Could I grow something in here and raise it as my own child and have it grow and grow and grow until one day it becomes president of the United States? My little mold baby, my little fungi mold baby. Hey, I'm the president now. And this is what I sound like. I bet you never thought there'd be a president that sounds like this, but my dad, Bobby Costa, he raised me to respect others. And one thing this nation needs is respect. Nah, that's too Seinfeldy. But I'm serious. No, I really want to explore that, because what if I had, who knows if I'm ever going to have a kid? Who knows? I don't know. I don't friggin' know. So it would be nice to have a little backup plan, right? I have a little fungi baby that I keep in a shoebox, and in case the whole baby thing, the human baby thing doesn't work out, well, then I have my little fungi baby, right? I have my little fungi baby, and he's a good guy, and we're grooming him to be the president. We're not grooming him, in an Epstein way. That's my child, you fucking piece of shit. How dare you suggest that? But we're grooming him to become the president one day, and I know what you're thinking, Bobby, you're going to have to wait 35 years. Well, actually, no, because mold years are worth 12, so I'll only have to wait 3. Didn't you know that? Didn't you? I thought you of all people should have known that. But I've got my little mold baby in a shoebox, and, I don't tell my family because I don't want them to, judge. And frankly, I don't want my kids having, too tight of a relationship with their grandparents. I'm sorry, what? I'm your parents. What are you talking to my dad for? That's my dad. I think you should probably, watch your step. I would tread lightly if I were you, little mold baby. But you are going to be president one day, and you'll be the leader of the free world. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll be so goddamn proud of you that, everything you've overcome. And, because remember we found that loophole where it said, it doesn't say anywhere that the president has to be human. It doesn't say that anywhere. And remember the day we discovered that? And we said, this is really going to happen for us. And all you have to do is just beat Gavin Newsom. If you could just beat Gavin Newsom in the primary, of course, because my mold baby is a Democrat. He's actually a bleeding heart liberal, if you can believe that. He's bleeding. He's constantly bleeding. But he's my baby, and truthfully, like, I think about that probably 10 to 12 times a day. About how I can do that, when's the right time. They're going right now. They're like little petri dishes. Again, they're obviously not petri dishes. There's an old Blue Moon. There's an old Bud Light. These are probably going on 2 to 4 months old. So yeah, there's stuff growing. But like these are the ones where I have to make a decision once we're in like this, say we'll call it like the second trimester, where I have to kind of say, yeah, no, that's not a presidential baby. We're gonna have to terminate it. And so I'll light it on fire. So I'll do it in a sane, humane way. I won't bust out a machine with toothpicks and why would you even bring that up? That's your mold baby. All right, well, hey, That's what I said I'm not going to do. So it's not like I was suggesting doing that. I was saying that's something I'm not going to do. But I feel like we've probably had enough fun. Honestly, we've had enough fun. And I appreciate everyone, taking the time. Hopefully you listened. If you didn't, I can't blame you. But at the same time, I can, because what are you? You're really just in it for Danny? I'm sorry. Okay. Maybe you're in it. Maybe you're in it for our good friends over at pinsandaces.com. Pins and Aces, the Colorado-based golf brand, making premium polos, head covers, and gear that perform on the course and stand out everywhere else. That's pinsandaces.com. If you go there, fill up your cart, and use promo code FLOP at checkout, FLOP, you get 21% off, and I think that's pretty sweet. I do, because they have great stuff, and 21% off goes a long way. And, to name a few, they have the liquor stick that sneaks drinks into your golf bag. They have a travel bag included with each golf bag. They've got same-day shipping from Colorado, free shipping over $70. And let me tell you, most orders are going to be over $70, but it's quality. It is really, the quality is very nice on the T-shirts. Seriously. And it's, they're premium golf bags made with weatherproof synthetic leather. They've got unique polo designs like giraffe, 5 o'clock sunset, so many more. Check it out. I seriously encourage you to do that. We would appreciate it. The show appreciates it. I appreciate it. And we love those guys. We really do. And we also love our deviant friends over at Old Glory who, have been in some hot water lately. Excuse me one moment. Sorry. They've been in some hot water lately. They were indicted in the Epstein files, as we all know, but that doesn't matter because they make 300,000 items from music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture, featuring officially licensed merch from iconic bands, top sports teams. Discover your perfect fan gear at oldglory.com and use promo code FLOP to get 15% off any product in that fucking website. Any product. And what kind of stuff do they have, you ask? Well, they've got everything from top sports teams, NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, and NCAA. It's a family-owned superstore. I actually didn't know that. That kind of makes it that makes it a little more fucked up, honestly. It's family-owned, and they're doing. When they flew me out to the headquarters, I saw shit that I don't even want to describe in spoken word because I'm worried the FBI will come after me if I describe what I saw people doing there. Let's just say what happened to the cockroaches it looks like a walk in the park compared to what goes on at Old Glory HQ. But we love the guys. Music fans can shop merch featuring iconic album art and band logos. Sports enthusiasts can find everything from jerseys to team hats. Everything from jerseys to hat. I feel like this. Anyway, no, but we love Old Glory. That's oldglory.com. Promo code FLOP, FLOP. We appreciate those guys. We appreciate everyone for coming out, taking the time out of their day. I hope everyone had a good 4th of July. It's weird to say that because it is the 3rd of July for me. So I'm saying I hope everyone had a good time. My good time hasn't even happened yet. But yeah, hug your family tight or I don't know, fucking listen to some Toby Keith, that one Toby Keith joint. Listen to that one by Lee Greenwood, right? And I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. And then every time, without fail, maybe I've said this before, but every time, Trump loves that guy. He brings him out all the time. He's his little fucking carnival act. Like, hey, here's Lee Greenwood. And every time, Trump can't help himself. He goes, that was a beautiful song. What a great song that is. And what a beautiful guy. What a handsome and beautiful guy. He's such a great guy and he's so beautiful. You wouldn't believe how beautiful he always calls him beautiful for some reason. I'm not saying that's, what do you mean for some reason? He's beautiful. He's a beautiful guy. No, I actually, truth be told, fuck! And I shoot myself in the back of the head, and that's how the episode ends. I was going to say, I couldn't pick him out of the lineup, out of a lineup. I don't know what he really looks like. But I know that that's a good song, and I know that I probably should, if I'm a man of my word, I probably should take my own life on camera right now. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep living this here life that we've put together, because I think that would be a disservice to everyone, myself, my family, you guys out there. So I'm gonna try and not say. Truth be told, I'm gonna try and not say that anymore. But I'm going to continue living. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.